Hello friends, and welcome back to Love to Inspired Handmade with Christina. Today is May 30th of 2025, and I'm excited to come and show you this adorable little, I'm going to get closer so you can see. This is an Easel fun card. Fun fold. Fun. Anyway, this is super cute. I was inspired by this card by Mary Riddle. I seen that she had shared how she created hers, and I thought, hey, let's give it a whirl. So I did, and I want to show you my designs on this and how that you too can create this with a few simple steps. So I will get the camera turned down and let us get started so we don't have a whole lot of dawdling going on. So bear with me for just a second. Let me get the camera situated. Let me slide her up to where she's right where I need her to be. I hope you all had a wonderful Memorial weekend and yeah, and enjoyed it. There we had rain. It is totally rain season, right? We can't, it's just, yeah, it's just what we do. We have rain, lots of rain. So here is the card. It sits flat, but if you can see, like when over here, it has the beautiful easel to it. I use the on-the-go designer paper for this, so I fussy cut it out. The little passport and the luggage and stuff on it, and then when you flip it over, it has your sentiment on it. So it's super cute, and this is kind of how it has a little pocket thing here. I kind of don't want it to like put too much glue or any glue on this because I want it to be able to fold up and have the little stand to it, hence the easel. So I'm going to set this over here to the side though. Now you will need a hot glue gun handy because I found that it's just easier as far as the fan goes. So go ahead and get that. And I went ahead and got all the stuff pre-done so that I can step you through it. There's not a lot of parts to this, but there kind of is. So yeah. Now I'm using the On The Go Designer Series paper, and I went ahead and done this up first. And so with it, this is just the one that has all the little tags on it, and on the other side it has like the little pin drops. And I used the fancy border dies, and I went ahead and done that as well. So I used the one with the little zigzags on it. And a fun little note though, in case you're new to cutting with this, if you use a sticky note or some masking tape, something light, to hold this in place when you cut it, because you're going to have to take it off and send it back down, that is an easy way to do so. Now this piece right here is cut at 12 by 4, and I went ahead and I scored a quarter all the way down. So every quarter inch you go down all the way down, but I'll get to that in just a second. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. Your base piece is going to be a 9 by 6. Now you're going to score it at 3 and 6, and then once you've scored it at 3 and 6, okay, hang on, I'm trying to get in the camera. You score it at 3 and 6, and then you're going to go and score it diagonally from the top corner down to this 6-inch score line, and then you'll do it again this way. So basically, I don't know if you can tell with the light, but you have your scores here, and then you go diagonal, making an X. Now this piece is optional. This one's going to be 2 3/4 by 5 3/4 because I want to add it to the front base here. And then on the back side, I changed it up a little bit because on this one, I just stuck the white piece on top. So of course you have a place to be able to write. But on this one, I thought with it being on basic white paper, I wanted to give a little bit of contrast. So with it, I have a piece of strawberry slush cut at 5.5 by 2.5, and then a basic white to go on top of it at 5.25 by 2.25. And that's all the pieces that you will need, other than whatever you decide that you want to decorate the top with on as far as embellishments and stuff. So with further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Be sitting over here just rambling along. All right, so I want to first go ahead and we're going to fold this base piece, this 9 by 6. Let's go ahead and fold all of these, so then that way we get them good and folded. So fold this side, and then we're going to fold that side. Now how we have, once you get these folded, you're going to want to have the diagonal lines in a mountain fold, and then you're going to want to straight lines are kind of in the valley fold. So, which means you'll push these in like so, and these top ones will go out. So that way when it's folded, it looks like this. So that's what we're going for. You see, it'll fold up and fold down. There you go. All right. Now this little designer series piece I have right here, the piece that was 2 3/4 by 5 3/4, I'm going to go ahead and attach it down here to this bottom piece, because that's going to give the contrasting to all of my color. So go ahead and take your designer paper. Now you don't have to have it to add on here, but I think it really just adds an extra little pop to it, so definitely worth doing. Now on this, you're going to glue it down. So on this bottom flap here that attaches to the designer paper, go ahead and add your adhesive onto this, and we're going to, I'm using my multi-purpose glue, and I just kind of lightly go around, but since I want to make sure that it stays, I'm going to add it all the way down, and then just press firmly to hold it in place just for a few minutes. Should it take too long to, and so now the back side's going to kind of pop up like that, but you're going to have your front fold, because this is your adhesive or your easel that's going to hold your flag or your fan flag. Now this is the fun part, because this is a little time consuming. Even when you are scoring and cutting the border, it's just a little time consuming. So go ahead now and start folding your folds, and of course, just like a fan, you're going to go every other one, and it's really important if you make sure that your creases are pressed down good and tight. Another thing is you can use cardstock to create this fan, but it's easier to manipulate and work with if you're using your designer series paper. So I would definitely consider using a DSP of some sort. There's all kinds of them to choose from. I'm pretty sure if you are a crafter, you have a stack of them sitting around already, and this is just a great way to do it. So we're halfway there. And two, if you plug in your hot glue gun when you start doing this, it will be good and warm by the time you get to the end. So then that way, you know, no harm, no foul. You know how that stuff goes. All right, almost to the end. Almost. They're such small score lines. Press firmly down here. They're such small score lines that it really, once you get closer to the end, it starts to really be fun to try to hold. And earlier, when I was trying this the first time to see how it would turn out, I thought, well, I'm going to start from the other end and try to work my way to the center of what I already had going on. Yeah, I mean, you'll figure it out. It's not super hard, but that didn't work. It was more cumbersome than I wanted it to be. And just like right now, it's getting hard to hold, so. Oh my goodness. Let me see, let me try this one more time. There we go. Gotta go all the way up though, because we need our fan to stick together. And it's easy to miss a fold. Good night. Okay, we're gonna do it and see if we can fix it in a minute, because it's getting harder to hold. Da, da, da. And I started to do it prior to, but I mean, I really felt like you need to see that, you know, it's all the things here. So yeah, just a few more minutes. Get it in its little folded side here. Now you should be able to squinch it together pretty easily. And then just give it a good press. So then that way, when you hold it, you got your little fan. Now, this is one of the reasons the hot glue is going to come in. So first, before I attached it, I kind of let it spread back open, and I took my hot glue and I don't know, see if I can get my cord to stretch a little bit longer. Okay, there we go. So I tried to get in the grooves, but if you've ever worked with hot glue, it does dry fairly quickly, so you don't want to take too much time trying to, you know, get it going in there, but just kind of lightly go through here. It's fast, but not too fast. And then what I'm going to do is gently start squeezing the bottom together. Granted, be careful, because you know hot glue, it's always silly hot. And okay, so just kind of start pinching it, and it will hold the bottom of your fan together. And what I did do on top of that is I started I just kind of pulled it up a little bit once it starts cooling. So then that way, there you go. So now we have our fan when you turn it over. Now don't worry if you feel like, oh, it's been a little bit or whatever, you can still put it in a place that it needs to, just like so. So that's all you're gonna do with that. And it'll hold it just enough for you to attach it to the top of the card. So when you get your card base back out, just kind of push this down. Now we're gonna add it with the corner of it being right here, just like so. And then it'll kind of come down like that. So just enough up from the point here, because you're going to add your embellishments on the front of it to cover up this, because this is endless. You can add a little flower, you can do some pretty little designs. So now on the back of it, we're going to add the hot glue again to push it down on the paper. So I'm going to add it down here and then on the back, but not going all the way to the top, because at the very top of it, we have, it's gonna stick out a little bit. So just gently go ahead and just kind of go all the way over it as quick as you can. That gets a good coverage, mainly on the corners or the creases of it, because that's what's gonna be sticking to the card. Right? And then gently, once you get it down there into the form that you want, gently give it a good little press. Now you want to have a little bit of border edge on each side of it. And this is just allowing the hot glue to go ahead and stick in its place. So that's what it should look like now. How adorable. Okay, let me turn it around so I can see what we got going on. All right. Now, uh-oh, there it goes. I went a little bit too high up at the top there, guys. See how it just automatically stands up? It's so cute. All right, let me peel this off because there. Now you want to just embellish the front of your card. Now, because I'm using the on the go, I went ahead and fussy cutted out some of the images that we had on the designer paper, which is a cute little bag and a passport. I went ahead and cut these little arrows out. You could even use a little pen to write like different places, towns or states or whatever. Super cute. Now I'm using the Right Word stamp set on here, and I'm going to be using I Miss You Already, and I really don't like that you're leaving, but I hope you love where you're going. Now this is a great thing that, you know, if you have someone going off to college, or in my case, I have a missionary. My daughter is a missionary, so she travels quite a bit. But either way, it's perfect to use for different things. I'm trying to find my Post-it notes real quick before we get to stamping. So I'm going to use this little tag here, but I'm breaking it down because my stamped image is long and I want to stagger my words. So a fun little technique that you can do. Now on this one, maybe not so hard to do the I without doing all the other letters, but keep some Post-it notes handy. Let me see if I can get this on here. Okay, I got the I on here, but keep some Post-it notes handy that have sticky on them. So then that way, when you start inking up and you only want certain things stamped, certain words, ink it up, use your sticky note to go over it. Okay, maybe. I'm sorry if you got my head in this screenshot. No, I'm like covering. And then we'll do the already. So I can pretty much line up that I just want these sides or these words, but this makes perfect so that way you don't get them on your paper. You only want these. Just like so. Totally a work. You get where I'm going. So I went ahead and I cut out this little camera, but he had a little strap on him, so I cut the center of the strap out, and I thought, you know, how cute would it be? Hang on. How cute would it be if I went ahead and just like hung it over the little sentiment greeting tag? Because it's got the camera, and so that's how I've added it, because I'm wanting to add it to the center of my base here. But like I said before, I went ahead and cut out a bag. So I'm gonna have my bag up here. Now I have found one of the easier ways to attach the stuff to the front of the fan is, instead of using the hot glue, I use glue dots. But like these little pieces here, since they're all kind of going to go together, I'm going to go ahead and add my multi-purpose glue to them. So then that way, that stuff is already stuck. And then you just add your glue dots to the top of it. All right. So I went ahead and I glued those together. Now let's get our glue dots out, and we'll add these to the back of all of our images. So let me flip it over and then just start from the top, and I want to make sure that I get a good amount of these on here. So I'm not gonna skimp on any of it because I want it all to make sure it sticks, you know what I mean? So let's do all the corners, like so. One more, we'll do one more, just like that. All right, and then add it to the bottom here, just like so. So now I have my card. The last thing is just flip it over, and I'm going to go ahead and add my strawberry slush piece of cardstock here. And let me go ahead and add some glue real fast, like stick it to the bottom. And then I want to add this little arrow sign that I got, and I'm sticking him right over here at one side. So then that way I can stamp my final sentiment on the back. And I'm going to put it a little bit over to the side so I have plenty of room to still write my stuff. Add a little bit more glue, and then we are done. And that is it. I really do hope you enjoyed this fun little tutorial, and that you give it a try yourself. It's actually simpler than what it looks. I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of cumbersome. There you go. Then when you flip it over, it looks like that. And then the best part is when it's sitting on their desk, it flips up and it stands so cute. Isn't that adorable? So here's the other one. Move them both over so you can see them. Ta-da! So I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you never miss one at 4 o'clock on Friday. And that you subscribe, and make sure you ring that bell. That way you never miss a video from me. And go over in the description and you can check out my blog and get more information for this with all the details of measurements, and rewatch the video as many times as you need, so then that way you can create your very own. But until then, stay tuned, and I will be back next Friday on June 6th of 2025. You be blessed and have a wonderful weekend.